So today we'll be looking at two apps/games that explore sound and music by moving around shapes, lines, and colors. I do have to note that these two apps are only available on the Apple Store for use on the iPhone or the iPad.
So our first app is called Musyc, spelled M-U-S-Y-C by FingerLab. Let's open up the app. So the first thing I actually recommend you do is press Help and to start a tutorial. It actually teaches you how to do everything that you need to know for the app. Of course, you can do this on your own time.
I just wanted to show you some of the things that we can do as a starter. So let's go to New Song. And you see these shapes and lines on the right. So there's already a line there given for you, but you just press it onto the screen, the different shapes. And you can just play around with it first. And you do notice that when the shapes hit each other, it kind of falls off to the side. The other thing to note is the higher you place a shape, it takes longer to bounce to the bottom. So the frequency the sound plays is less often, and vice versa. The closer you place it to a line, the faster it bounces. And actually, if you want to get rid of some of these, you press the eraser button and get rid of them. You can draw a line like that. The other thing to note is if you put a shape to the left versus closer to the right, closer to the right gets you higher sounds on the pitch, and closer to the left gets you lower sounds on the pitch. And you can draw multiple lines across. It can even be diagonal, vertical, etc. And the shapes kind of represent different sounds. You'd notice that this rectangular shape is percussive. And actually, this entire family of sounds are labeled soft mallet. So if you want to change the sounds, you can
Click on where it says soft mouths at the top and change the sound family.
Alright. I actually like this Art Nouveau sound. So another thing that you can do is
Using your two fingers,
you can zoom in and zoom out. You can also change the quality of the shapes. If you click on each of them, you can make it bigger size or you can make it smaller, etc. You can also make it static, which means you leave it still. You can also change the volume, pitch, length, and panning of each of the shape families
by pressing the volume equalizer button on the top portion. You can also add audio effects by pressing the FX button.
There's lots of things that you can do on here that's explained by the tutorial. The other thing you can do is
drag a shape onto the screen, and using a second finger, you can draw a line so that it attaches like so.
And if you wanted to record this sound because you like how it sounds, you just press the recording button next to the play and pause button up here.
And you can see it light up red when it's recording, and just press it again to stop. And it could be exported to Dropbox, SoundCloud, Audio Copy, email, and your iTunes folder. And you can obviously record for longer than I have, and you can also change the sounds and the shapes and the lines during your recording as well, so that it would create a more dynamic mix. All right, so our second app is called Sound Rebound by Exploratorium. And let's open it up. So let's actually go through the tutorial together. If you press first steps, it's a little bit shorter than the tutorial of the previous app. So you can see that this is, again, an app that explores sound through shapes. First steps. Select a shape from the toolbar and click anywhere on the screen to add the shape. Click and drag a shape to move it. Pinch a shape to scale it. Use two fingers to rotate a shape. Shapes marked with a pin spin when hit. Shapes without a pin stay in place. Double tap a shape to toggle a pin. Hold and press a shape to delete it. Change colors and sounds by opening the musical note drawer. different color produces a different sound when hit. So now we're back at the main page. Let's press play. And there are several options for you to get started. You can select a play field. So our first one is called baritone, up on the very top. And this one is called flower power. It's very pretty. And I chose the option called feeling lucky, so I guess these are just kind of randomized. And all of them kind of play different instruments, different sounds. This one is called two cups. Sounds like water droplets going into two separate cups. This one's called tipping point. And you can add as many balls as you wish. And the last option is blank slate. So this is where you can have fun and experiment with by putting different shapes on there. And the other cool thing that I wanted to show you is up at the top, if you click the two music notes, you can change the sound family. And the options are classic, chimes, and voice. I think by default it's set to classic. I've just changed it to voice. And then this is back to the classic sound. And then this is the chime sound. So they all have different qualities of the sound, and you can choose whichever instrument family that you want to work with. Pretty neat, eh? And if you want to save your creation, you can save it to one of the 3 boxes available for you to save a playfield. So I hope that you enjoy playing around with these 2 apps, Musyc and Sound Rebound, and create some cool sounds with shapes and lines. See you next week.